Terrible. I'm ready for summer. I'm tired of winter.
Well, you'll get summer soon enough and then you'll be tired of that. So.
Oh, I'm never tired of summer. No one has ever heard me complain about summer. I love summer.
Yeah.
I love the heat.
Okay, yeah. Well, me too. You know, I'm from Florida, so folks like me like heat. Are you from the South too?
No, from Chicago.
Oh.
Well, from Evanston.
Okay, God, this is the 8th time you've told me you're from Evanston. Boy, I guess Greg grew up right around there.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to ask him if he had passed. I'm sure he's passed by my house like a million times, because it's right near a big intersection. So I'll have to remember that to ask him.
Well, let's see. Now today we were looking for the causes of MS.
Yes.
And tell me what you've tested about that so far.
I tested that there are 2 causes, and I did test positive for Prion. I tested that several times, and I got a yes on each time.
Actually, I believe the term is Prion, isn't it?
I thought so, but then the thing said Prion when I looked for the pronunciation.
Well, prions are a, I think they're a subatomic particle, and prions are the infection.
The actual infectious.
Yeah, it's a different thing, but there is such a thing as a prion, and also I think it had both of them in the Wikipedia definition.
Right.
But anyway, you can call it whatever you want.
Prion, yeah, I like Prion better.
Okay.
Also, trauma was the other cause.
Okay.
Which kind of goes follows along with the AMA list of causes.
Yeah. Did you remove any trauma?
I had removed some trauma previously. I haven't removed any trauma today.
So you tested, but when was it that you tested the trauma was one of the 2 causes? Was that today?
That was today.
And so you didn't take out any trauma after you tested that. And also,
No.
Did you take out any prions?
I didn't think to take out any prions.
Good.
I thought that I didn't know what we were going to do today, so.
This is a good thing for people to learn from, because they don't, they test that something like is the cause, like let's say a fungus, and they don't actually even think to remove it.
Right.
This is a very common thing. It's not just you. And I believe the reason for it is that people with these diseases are in shock. I think it's like they're just reeling from the effects of the disease, and have a sense of helplessness. It's like if a bomb goes off near you and you just are lying on the ground and you feel like you can't move. And I think that's what people get stuck in.
Yeah, I think I've been kind of circling the wagons, not really going in for the kill.
Okay, that's a good thing to do now then.
Yeah.
Move your microphone a little bit away from your face. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, now, so just show us how you go through your bodies and test for, in this case you're going to test for prions, which you haven't yet done, but you've tested through your bodies for other things. So just do that out loud so we can see it. And also, do you get a hand signal, a finger signal?
Sometimes I just get a pulse.
Okay, so go ahead and tell me where you get one of those kinds of signals on. Any kind of signal at all, can be a pulse or a movement or whatever. So start with whatever body you want and test for prions.
Okay, I'll go in the usual order and start with my celestial body.
Okay.
Do I have prions in my celestial body? I get a yes.
Okay.
I am removing prions from my celestial body.
Yeah, try this. I'm now removing all prions.
I am now
my celestial
removing
body.
all prions from my celestial body.
Now, feel, as best you can, feel your celestial body as you do this and look for changes in it. So you're not just trying to get a finger movement, you're actually trying to, feel your celestial body and see if you can feel a change.
Okay.
And also, when you get a finger movement, keep feeling your celestial body and see if there's more to go. Because you can get a finger movement when you've removed something, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're done.
I remember in one of the movies you said you're done when the finger moving stops.
Mm-hmm. That's one way of measuring it, that's right. So that you can use that method and tell us about that. Now, are you doing it now?
My fingers are moving now.
I remember when there was a guy killing HIV in one of the movies, which is on the homepage. It's one of the HIV movies, and his leg moved, and it was vibrating, and it just kept vibrating till he was done with, whichever body it was, and then the vibration would cease. But it kept going and going for a while.
Well, mine is still going.
Okay. So this is how you cure MS. Or herpes, for that matter. Of course, with herpes you'd be taking out the herpes virus. But it's the same kind of experience. And with cancer, same thing. Except you'd be, it's the same kind of experience, but with, you'd be experiencing different things, like you might be focusing on your tumors, for example. Another thing that you can do with killing, I'm just, kind of also waiting, I'm just talking while I'm waiting for you to complete removing that from your celestial body. Another thing you can do is actually repair tissue damage in your nervous system from MS.
I did install myelin on my nerves.
Yeah, remember the other day you were saying that you got your feet to unclench or something like that? Your legs, you got them to loosen up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I installed flexibility and strength and balance.
Okay, so that can be part of curing a disease like MS. It's not necessary to do it with a flu or a herpes virus or something, but with a disease like MS, it's probably essential. So all these diseases are different, and yet we do the same kind of thing.
Okay.
Like when you've found a cause, take it out right then and there. If you test that trauma caused it, take out some trauma. Just start. Just do it. Push the button.
Do like I do with the viruses.
Do like you do when you share movies.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm done. So next one.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have any prions in my gravitational body? Oh, I'm getting a strong pulse there. I am removing all prions from my gravitational body.
Now remember, you came up with a good technique for finding your bodies, which is you bring them into your physical body. And it makes them, you were saying it makes them easier to locate.
Yes.
I always find I can locate my gravitational body wherever it is. But, you know...
It's a fast guy.
You know, I started out by bringing them into my physical body.
Oh, okay.
That's what I used to do in like 93 and 1994. And, you know, like the late 90s. Then I sort of moved away from it and I just started finding the bodies and working with them wherever they were. All space became my playground.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, not that it ever wasn't my playground, but maybe I didn't know it was.
Well, we tend to put ourselves in jail.
Yeah, right. That's true. We do. Okay, let's see.
Okay, I'm done with that.
So so in other words, you're able to talk while this removal is happening, but your finger's still moving.
Yes.
Okay. So just so everybody kind of gets a sense of what's going on. I used to have people hold their finger up, and a lot of times I realized you couldn't really see anything anyway, because if you're just getting a pulse, you know, nobody's going to be able to see any movement. So, and besides, it was always very awkward for the people making the movies to sit there with their hand up in front of their face for 45 minutes. Okay, next.
Okay, next is the spiral body. Do I have any prions in my spiral body? I don't have a signal. Okay, do I have any prions in my astral body? Oh, yes. I am now removing any prions from my astral body. Okay, it's going.
You know what? That was good. Generally, do your astral body last, and you'll probably find there won't be anything in it.
Why is that?
It's a composite body made up of other bodies. For different people, it's different things, but some people make it, like most people make it out of their etheric body. And they're like another body, like their, sometimes they'll use their spiral body and so on. I've always felt that it was best not to have an astral body. You know, just to, because the astral body is like, you know how people like having out-of-body experiences?
Yes.
That's what they use their astral body for. And as you get further into this, you'll discover that this kind of religion that we're practicing frowns, like we consider a lot of occult experiences to be, you know, just kind of cheapening. You know, like astral traveling. Although, you know, in some sense, I guess we're doing some kind of astral traveling if we are, you know, working with our gravitational body and it's not inside of our physical body, then we're, you know, not inside of our physical body. So in some way we're having an out-of-body experience of some kind, but that's really not anything that we try to think about too much. You know, it's kind of like this guy who will remain nameless, another one of our colleagues who the other day told me all about my pool deck. You know, because he was astral traveling into my house, and that's fine. I don't mind. I didn't feel bad about it or invaded or anything, but I just think that he's just into that kind of thing, you know, and it doesn't really do much for him. You know what I mean? It's like it's not doing anything for him.
Well, maybe he just felt like getting out of the house.
Maybe he felt like telling me all about my pool deck, and, you know, he was just trying to, like, be one up on me, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I think, because I know it needs cleaning, okay? So that doesn't mean I want to be told about it necessarily, you know? Okay, back to Now you see how to do this.
Yes.
Do you feel any different than when you started?
I feel a little more energy.
Uh-huh.
A little bit lighter.
Okay.
And I have absolutely no pain in my foot. I was fighting pain.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you know what? I'm going to let you do the rest of the bodies not without being in the movie, because they get the idea. They know what it is. So to get on,
it's a long process.
well, it doesn't have to be that long, but they don't have to sit and watch you do the whole thing either. They should be doing their own with their own list and, you know, their own way. But we should probably take a look at some trauma. Test this question: is there a trauma string that causes MS?
Is there a trauma string that causes MS? Yes.
Is there more than one trauma chain causing MS?
Is there more than one trauma chain causing MS? Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, have you ever have you ever removed a trauma with me before?
Not with you. I have removed a trauma.
Did you do it by yourself?
Yes.
You mean just use the lesson?
Yes.
Okay. So what we'll do, since you have experience, this should be, you know, this should go like butter. And
I hope so.
what we'll do is we'll illustrate removing a trauma, and maybe you'll figure out, you'll see some things that, like, you know, a few things that maybe you didn't quite have as smoothly as, you know, maybe you'll pick up something that you can use in future trauma removals.
Okay.
So this will be like a shorthand, you know, full of shortcuts. So what we're going to do is, first you want to just ask for, you know, let's just say you want to access a key trauma in MS, and then you just ask a question about it. But you set that first, like, I want to access a key trauma that causes MS, and then you say, okay, can I access one of those, you know? And
I'm getting some flicking already.
okay, so you get it, so you can. So now you say, okay, the one I'm going to access, did it happen over 100 years ago?
Yes.
Over 1,000 years ago?
Let me ask again.
Well, maybe it didn't happen over 1,000 years ago. We're just trying to narrow it down, so we bracket it. So there's 100, 1,000.
Right.
If not,
and I just had a feeling, I wasn't sure. That was a yes.
Okay, so over 2,000.
No.
Over 1,100 years ago.
Yes.
Over 1,500 years ago.
No.
So, like, roll up numbers from 1,100 to 1,500 and see if you can get the, you know, the year the trauma happened. Sometimes traumas take place over years. Like, they have an opening, a middle, and they open at one point and they close at another. So a person can have a trauma that opens, you know, in their, you know, 5th year and closes in their 12th year or something. But then, you know, just see if you can check what the trauma was and find it within, let's say, you know, 10 or 20 years. See, what I do is I just run up like 11, 12, 13, you know, and then I go, you know, if I get a signal on 13, 14, 13, 13, 10, 20, 30, you know, like that, see?
Okay. 1,200 years ago. Over 1,200 years. Over 1,300 years ago. Over 1,350. Over 1,400 years ago. Over 1,450. Over 1,475.
Did we get no on over 1,500?
Yes.
Okay. Is it around 1,500?
It is around 1,500 because I'm at over 1,450.
Okay. So, was it on Earth?
Yes.
Am I a man or a woman?
Am I a woman? Am I a woman? I'm a woman.
Test your age when the trauma happens or starts.
When it started, I'm under 20. My 20 and over. Under 25.
Okay, find the continent. You should, at this point, you should be sort of like visualizing or channeling who you were and what this is about a little bit. So it ought to be easier to find things.
Okay. I know it's the early 20s. I'm in my early 20s.
And what continent are you on? What civilization? What ethnic group?
I've got Africa.
Okay, so you're in Africa. Are you a Muslim? Are you is it South Africa, North Africa?
That's a big continent. Okay.
Or are you Roman? Or European? Or are you an occupier? Try to just test for various ethnic groups that were there. I may be going into more detail than we need, but this is you know, this is a good thing for people to learn how to do this. Anyway, so, because this is the kind of basic method that you use, like it's kind of, you just test things and eliminate them, and then you try to see what you can see, you know, of it. You know, when you get signals, you see, kind of, see if you can see anything of it.
I've got West Africa. I'm not sure if I'm European. I hear
Well,
that
European
on the
would be
test.
like, this would be like the, you know, the end of the Roman Empire probably, so, or maybe somewhat after the end of the Roman Empire. So, what kind of trauma is this? Like, what happens? Is it a betrayal? Is it a failed mission? Is it a traumatic death? Is it, you know, just like, what is it? How does it seem to you? Test various things. Like, when it seems some way, test it and see if it is that way.
Okay. I don't know if this is a combination of a traumatic death and a failed mission.
They often are, like, yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Okay. And whose failed mission is it? Mine, somebody else's? You test, you know, is it mine, is it somebody else's?
It's my failed mission.
Okay. And are you trying to tell somebody something, save somebody from something, create something with somebody, you know?
I'm trying to save someone.
Husband, brother, father, mother, children, you know, like friend. You could ask things like, am I a warrior, am I a wife, am I a slave, am I an owner of a slave, or a merchant, you know, like just various.
Okay. It's family. I know that. Sibling. Sister. Brother. Sister.
And
What?
so can you see what happens? Is anything coming to you like what might have happened? Do you have a brighter light that you used last time? Or is this the old?
No, it's the same light.
It's the same light, okay. Let's just keep going. So just, do you see anything? And when you start to see something, see if you get a movement.
Okay.
See if the finger would be a confirmation. Like you sort of sift through images in your mind and see which one gets a signal.
I'm on the beach.
Okay. And you were around 25 at the time.
Yes.
And you'd been with your sister up till then, right? Did that test?
What?
You were with your sister up till the age of 25. Did you get a test on that?
Yes.
See anything? Is there any emotion associated with this?
It's my younger sister.
Is there any emotion associated with it?
Panic.
You've lost control?
Yeah, I think I was responsible for holding on to her. I was supposed to watch her. But she was like 10.
Uh-huh. Did she drown?
She did. She drowned.
Was there something that was going on there that caused that?
There were other people, but I don't see anybody.
You mean there were other people on the beach?
Yes.
Did you live by the beach?
Yes.
Test this question. Have I removed this trauma?
Yes.
Is there anything else I need to know about this trauma?
Oh, yes.
Or do you
Wow, that was strong.
Do you know what it is?
I feel that it was an accident and it wasn't my fault. And my mission was to watch my sister, and I traumatized myself when she drowned and I held the guilt on. That was probably it. Let me see if that's true. Yes. Wow.
You know, sometimes as you go along, like you test it, you clear these things, and then you, later on, you see more about them.
Okay.
You know, maybe sometimes even months later. Also, remember you were telling me that your signals come kind of slowly?
Sometimes, yes.
Well, how are your signals coming during this particular trauma clearing? Would you say they were slower or fast?
Pretty fast.
Pretty fast, okay. So you're going to find that your signal speed increases as you go. You know,
Okay.
the more of this you do, the faster your signals get. Also, we're going to stop in a minute, but you're not going to stop. You need to finish removing the MS, the prions from your bodies, and also you should do at least 2 more trauma.
Okay.
And also, when you do trauma, try to go as fast as possible and be as complete as possible. And, you know, just also see if you can face the bad things. Sometimes there's really things that you don't want to know about yourself in these traumas. So sometimes clearing these traumas is about finding out things that you'd rather have forgotten, or you'd rather hadn't happened.
Okay.
This is also the trauma that you took out just now seems it's pretty typical in intensity to me of the traumas that I see people starting out with.
Intensity how?
Well,
How do you mean intensity?
something that you felt bad about that wasn't really your fault, you know? You know what I mean? It's just like you can see that there's nothing to really blame yourself about, and it's pretty easy to stop traumatizing yourself about it.
All right.
A lot of times when we traumatize ourselves, it would have been very easy to stop traumatizing ourselves had we just taken a moment to clear the trauma. But if maybe you didn't ever know how to clear a trauma before now.
Probably not. That's why I have so many.
Well, I have a friend whose marriage broke up, and he traumatized himself over it for 10 years. Wow. You know, and probably still is, and he just may never stop, but he remarried. The thing is that what he did is he converted the trauma into other dysfunctional things. Okay. That's what happens with uncleared trauma. They convert to other things. There's a lesson on that. If you look in the trauma lesson, it says uncleared trauma convert to these things.
Oh, I've seen that before. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So that's where you find that information.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will listen with interest when I speak to you tomorrow to what else you did for yourself tonight. I am watching you. Remember that, Renee. Do your homework.
I will do my homework. I've got a lot of homework.
Well, you know, the thing with homework to do, I know that you know this. You know what a lot of people do when they're told to do things, or they see things that they should do for this? What they do is they try to choose among them.
Ah, yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, you've done that too, right?
I've done it, yeah.
What you're supposed to do is just simply have a list of them and go down the list and do them all. And if you have a lot of them, then just stop and take a lot of time and do a whole bunch of them. You don't have to do your entire list in one sitting. But you should do several of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But see, like I said earlier, I'm a recovering perfectionist, and perfectionists try to do everything all at once. And then we defeat ourselves because we don't get as much done as we could have.
Well, yeah, because if you're trying to do all of these different things and they're in different lessons, you can't click on 2 things at once. So you end up clicking on nothing.
Yeah, I know.
You know, we lost the connection, and it kept beeping. But you know what? I think this is good for here. You know, we've done something. Do you feel different here?
I feel like some of the brain fog that I sometimes have is not there anymore.
Okay, so you're clear. Anything else? Any other difference?
Other than what I said earlier, no. But this foot thing is really good.
Your differences when you remove things are subtle, huh?
Yes.
How do you feel generally? Like, you know, for the last hour, how have you been feeling?
I can't think of anything to say about that. I've been...
Well, like good or bad?
I'm good.
Okay. So, tell you what.
Okay.
You got these two things on your plate that are hot, right? One is take all the prions out of all your bodies, and the other one is do 2 more traumas. And you see, this trauma took you like half an hour, but when I used to do traumas, they used to take me like 90 seconds. You will find that you test and channel these things faster. The more of them you do, the faster you'll channel them.
Okay.
And the more comfortable you'll be with the most outlandish things that pop into your field of vision as what the trauma is about, and then you'll test them. Sometimes you'll get yes, sometimes you'll get no, but you will test them and then you'll just go on with them. So that's what's coming as time goes on, okay?
Okay.
So right now just take...
That's good.
Yeah, that's right. Just right now just take the amount of time it takes you to do it.
Okay.
And also make sure that you share about this on Facebook so all your friends hear about it. And do that tonight before this movie gets up. And then again when the movie is up, and then again after after you've already shared, share again, you know. And keep talking about it. It helps you, it consolidates it for you.
Okay.
And
Sounds
also
good.
do anything else that pops into your head as something that might be good to do. Like right now it's 8 p.m. at your house.
Yes.
And you can get a lot done between now and bedtime.
Yes.
You might be able to cure your MS completely between now and bedtime.
Hey, and then I'll run out of the house, run around the block.
Well, you know, do you think that you still have to repair damage to your feet and legs and so on?
I think so, yeah. Because I've gone down to the little cytokines that deal with the immune response, and I've managed to reduce it, but I haven't eliminated it.
Good.
And I know that I have a toxins. I've tested for mercury, so I don't know. It doesn't seem to have anything to do. Well, not seem to be a direct cause of MS, but let me test that. Okay, so mercury is not the cause, is not a cause, but it does have something to do with the continuation of the MS.
Or the continuation of the symptoms.
Of the symptoms, yeah, I should say that.
Are there certain mushrooms that remove metals that could help?
No.
Okay. Well then, we will find out that will be for another session, but we will test through things and find out what would help to remove these toxic metals.
Okay.
And you don't have to wait for me to make a movie to do that for yourself. When you think of doing something, do it.
Okay.
We could always make a movie about it later where you show people how you did it.
Sounds good to me.
That's fine too. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow, Renee, so this has been a real pleasure.
Okay, me too.
Real pleasure being with you. I'll see you then.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
And that is our movie. Now, I just want to say that if you want to speak to somebody, I would be available, possibly, and also my outgoing message on my phone does give instructions about how to start if you haven't started yet. So, or you can just, leave me a message and I'll get back to you. So please feel free to call me. I'd be happy to speak to you. And here's my number. It's 813-672-3419. And I hope you enjoyed this movie. And it's fine to call me up and just tell me how you felt about it.